So you're looking to start a small business? I'm going to give you the top 10 reasons why small businesses fail, and we're going to get into it right now. All right, it is Damien, and this is Marketing Food Online, the premier food entrepreneur channel for YouTube. And if you're not a subscriber, you're brand new to our channel, welcome to Marketing Food Online. We cover everything you need to know to get a food product or food business up and running. Now, I'm going to do a video which I normally don't like to do negative videos or to talk about or discuss negative things in general. So I always try to stay positive and give you something that you could definitely as useful information and tips here on my channel. But these are actually, believe it or not, going to be positive in a way. I will present them in a negative way because they are actually what you need to not do in order to be a success. I'm going to give you 10 reasons why small businesses do fail, but I'm going to talk a little bit about how to be a success doing it, even though these are things that could potentially snag your goal or your dream of having a food business or just any small business for that matter. But of course, we particularly talk about food businesses here on Marketing Food Online. So I'm going to go from 10 down to number 1. You definitely want to take some notes and grab a pen or paper if you haven't, or you can just watch the video more than once. That would be fantastic as well. So let me go through this. And of course, as you may or may not know, I am an entrepreneur. I've been doing my own thing, if you will, for a decade now. I've been in the food business, in the food industry for well over the majority of my life, about 25 plus years. I'm actually 43 now, as of a few weeks ago. So I've been doing this for quite some time, and I definitely know what I am talking about when it comes to giving you guys advice. And I always try to just get to the point and keep it short and sweet. So what I've learned so far about doing this type of a business, I'm going to give you 10 of them, 10 things you may want to avoid. So I'm going to present them in a way that's going to give you a chance to maybe bypass having to go through that, experience it. Now, the one thing I will admit about being an entrepreneur, you need to actually just do it. You need to just become an entrepreneur. When you want to start a business, you just need to start it. Now, yes, there are a few steps and a few things you need to maybe research and find out first, but there are a lot of people I've talked to over the years that wanted to start a business and haven't started one, but they always discuss and go over this idea of planning and researching. I'm going to check into a little bit more. And they spend 2 or 3 years researching, and they still haven't done nothing. They haven't started anything. They haven't incorporated. They haven't even got themselves a business license. These are really simple steps, but they're very powerful steps because once you begin to do them, then you begin to take action towards the goal of actually being an entrepreneur instead of researching about how to be an entrepreneur. So if you want to start a business, my first off advice to you is to just get started. You can research it as you go along, but please do yourself a favor and take some actions and steps towards actually becoming an entrepreneur instead of talking to a lot of people about what you may want to do and what I want to do and what I want to be down the road. Because guess what? Today is the only day you actually have in this life. You have only this moment, and if you don't make an action, you can decide to do a lot of things. You can talk about a lot of things. You can think about a lot of things. But if you don't actually do something, well, then you're not making any steps towards becoming anything, to be honest with you. You're just going to work your job like I did for over 20-some years, and I definitely wish I started probably about 20 years earlier, but I didn't. So I want to stop rambling and get focused here. Number 10, planning. Okay, so now as you may or may not just heard, I talked about don't over-plan, but it is a good idea to have a business planned. Have some type of idea about what it is you want to make or what type of food business. Now, when you talk about food business, that's a pretty broad concept. That's not very specific, and it's not very to the point because you could open a restaurant, you can have a cafe, you can create a food product. So food business is kind of broad. So planning and having a business plan. Number 10, people who lack that. If you do not sit down and kind of plan out, at least have an idea of what you want to do, how you could potentially get there, how are you going to fund it, basically the vision you have in your head, or if you don't have a vision, that's fine. Maybe you're still working on it. But writing it down and at least getting some type of a grid work, if you will, infrastructure on paper of how you want a business to be. It's going to give you a great opportunity to see it in black and white, and you can see it in text, and you can read it and have something tangible that you can look at. So people who do not have a business plan, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, actually the first business I had when I opened my Italian bakery, my wife and I initially when we first started, I didn't have a business plan. But I did write one up and create one and sat down. We actually worked about 2 months on it and wrote a business plan after we had actually started our business because I realized that, planning and overthinking and over this and over that doesn't actually create anything. You will not have a business. You will not create an online e-commerce business. You won't create a food product. Nothing will happen if you just sit there and think about it and write it down on a piece of paper and just look at it. You have to take action on that. So number 10, create a business plan. Give yourself at least a concept, an idea, a vision of where you want to go, and just get started. Number 9. So this day and age, the great thing about this next one on number 9 is understanding the customers that you potentially want to have. You got to understand who they are. Who is it you're actually trying to get to come into your shop, or maybe if you're open a cafe, or if you open a restaurant, a bistro, or even if you're going online, if you're going to sell a food product, do a little research and just find out if you're making, a granola mix. Do you understand the people you're trying to sell that to? Is it going to be campers, hikers, people who are active and athletic? I mean, those are the people you want to search out and find out where they are online, and then you advertise your product to that. But people don't spend enough time actually trying to really think of their end users. Who is it going to be using the product, the food product? Who's going to consume it? Who's going to eat it? If it's just a candy or for some luxury chocolate or something to that effect, well, then find out who it is. Who do you think is going to be buying it? So a failure to actually kind of do a little bit of market research in regards to your demographics and who you think is going to be buying it, that's something that could really make your small business not succeed. Okay? And again, I'm not a big believer in spending 20 years researching things out. Just spend a couple of months even, or a few weeks off and on, do some research, make some notes, find out who it is that you really want to focus on, because it's really going to give you a huge direction. If you just randomly put something up online, or you think you're just going to sit something in a grocery store and all of a sudden you're going to sell 1 million pieces of it and 1 million units, that's not going to happen. So have some idea of who it is that's going to be consuming your food product. Okay, so next up, when it comes to number 8, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, of course, you wear a lot of different hats. Trust me. To this day, I still order supplies. I'm still answering emails for customers. I'm creating, custom orders for people. I also handle all the shipping in our department. I do a lot. I still do a lot, and we have a handful of people who help us out. But this one's really, really important. When you begin to have inventory, if you're bringing product into your warehouse, if that's something you're doing, if you're reselling, or even if you're making your own product, and you have an inventory of the product, but you're not managing the product properly. If you're seeing some of your product selling that's really great, and you have a multitude of items, maybe you should steer away from those other items and focus on the thing that's actually selling. So when you begin to mismanage the inventory you have, that poses a huge problem, because you're going to end up tying up a lot of money and resources and time and all that into products sitting in your warehouse or wherever you're making it in your shop. And it's going to cost you money, and you're just going to end up throwing it away because, food products do expire. They have a limited shelf, so be aware of what you have on hand, and make sure you manage it properly. Make sure you're selling through it or pushing through it. If you're producing a product that you're selling then to a retail store, be aware of the time frame that you've produced it, because you have a window, an expiration window there of your product. And if you're overproducing the product and you're not selling in the retail stores, then you're really kind of wasting your time and a lot of other resources. So managing your inventory, if it's not done right, it can cause your business a huge headache. Now, the next one up is a good and bad thing. Well, because I've actually experienced this myself when we first started. It's really when your company grows fast. Number 7, if your company's growing too quickly, if it's expanding too fast, or if there's a certain product that you're selling a lot of, but you don't have the ability to maintain that growth, that can actually cause a big problem as well. Because when you begin to grow, obviously everyone wants to grow a business, but if you're just relatively new at this and you don't understand the expansion side of growing a business, having additional people on hand, having additional payroll to cover that, maintaining the accounts that are ordering big, vast numbers of your product, your business is not going to do well. Because you're not going to be able to fulfill those needs for all of those customers, and that's just going to make you look bad. So not understanding and really handling the ability to have a company grow very quickly can cause a big problem. And I know it sounds kind of weird, because you're probably thinking, well, Damien, you want to make a lot of money. You want to obviously have your company grow. Yes, you want your company to grow, don't get me wrong. But if you don't have the understanding of how to maintain that, or have the staff on hand to do it, then growth is not going to be a good thing for you. It's going to cause you a huge headache, and it's going to make your company really not grow. It's going to go under. So making sure that you understand when you grow very fast, it can be a very good thing if you can handle it. If you don't understand it, and it's going to be overwhelming, well, it's going to cause a huge problem. I actually watched, really quick side note, I saw I believe it was a Shark Tank. It was a company that they had, that one of the sharks invested in, and the couple that was actually in charge of it, that was managing it, did not know how to manage it properly, and they ended up having to refund hundreds of orders for this one particular product, and it was just creating really bad reviews online for the customer reviews were horrible. So it took them like months, if not even nearly close to a year, I think, just to rectify that, because it was actually a big problem because they couldn't fulfill orders and they weren't meeting deadlines. And so growing fast may sound wonderful, but if you can't handle it, you can't handle it. You don't have the staff. You don't have the management skills. It's going to be a big problem. Now, next up, sales are great, but the lack of sales can obviously be a huge problem as well. So not having enough sales, that is something, and I know you're probably thinking, well, that's a no-brainer. Why would that even be on the list? Well, if you understand that you need to get out there and hustle your product, if you have to be online and you're on social media promoting a product, you need to understand that you have to do that day in and day out. And the lack of sales obviously will hinder your cash flow. And if cash flow dries up, well, so does your business. So if you're not on top of the fact that you're aware that your sales may be great in February, March, but April comes around and you're dragging and you're like wondering what can I do to do, you need to start figuring it out quick. And you should have already in place when you first start your business, you need to have a social media presence. You need to have the ability to market your product. Even if it's not online, if it's a local market and you're in grocery stores, you need to get down there and start hustling your product and making sure that you've got people sampling it, trying it. Everything you need to do that possibly to get your sales up and running and maintaining them at that level, you need to be doing it. Now, maybe you're not good at that. That's fine. You need to find somebody then who is, and you need to figure out how within your budget to have them do it for you. So you don't have to be a marketing genius to do it, and you may not have the skill to do it at all. But if you understand that the lack of sales is a huge problem when it comes to cash flow, and if you don't have cash flow, well, you don't have a business. So that's something you need to seriously give a lot of thought to, that the moment you see sales are kind of lagging, or maybe you have a product that's seasonal or something to that effect, you need to get out there and make sure you're doing everything you can to sell, sell, sell. All right, so number 5. Think of this. You may be good. You need to understand what you're really good at. You may be good at a lot of things, but maybe something that's underestimated. You need to understand that administrative tasks, the day in, day out bookkeeping, for instance, maybe it's working with customers, maybe it's answering emails, anything that's administrative that maybe you're not strong at doing, you need to find someone who is, and you need to get them in your business and you need to have them do it, because they can add up very quickly. For us, for instance, I've been trying for years to try to maintain the books until just recently we started incorporating some new software to keep track of sales and to do a lot of that administrative stuff automatically, which has worked out really great, and we're still learning to do it. But know the things that you're good at, and if you're not good at administrative things, that can be a problem and create a business that would ultimately close its doors if you're not maintaining it, if you're not doing it day in and day out. So if you're not good at doing the administrative stuff, don't bother. You can definitely find someone to do it for you. That leads me up to number 4. Trying to do everything and be everything to everyone. That's going to make your business drag, and it's going to create a really bad way for your business to grow. And if you try to do it all when it comes to, I can attest to this, trying to do everything myself along with my wife, just the two of us, it creates this environment of ultra stress, and you're pulling yourself in so many directions, which you don't need to do that. So again, knowing what you're good, you're strong, things that you're really strong at doing, maintain those and do them. But don't be afraid to bring other people on board to help you do the task or do the day in and day out work, or expanding your business and you want to bring more employees. You can't do everything, especially when your business begins to grow and it's expanding. You can't maintain that for a long time. I've actually attempted that myself, and it's burnout, burnout, burnout. So anything that you're good at, always give yourself a thumbs up and focus on that and do those few things that you might be good, but don't try to be Superman every moment of the day, because you will burn out, and that means your company will. It won't be around. So number 3, as time goes on, this is something that I've actually talked about a lot with many of my clients. As time goes on, you need to evolve. Your business will change. Like, for instance, our product lineup, the things that we have right now, I've learned to adapt and to change. Sorry about that. All right. So, and yeah, and you need to understand that you need to evolve. And as your product lineup changes, or if you want to add new products, or maybe even go in a different direction, be flexible and be willing to do that. Because if you don't have the ability to do that, then there'll be other companies who have similar products and they will eat you up. You need to understand that every single, especially this day and age with the internet having the ability to change a business very fast, and you can get an almost instantaneous response from every corner of the world, for crying out loud. You have to be able to be flexible with what you're doing and have the ability to let go of certain things and not have such an ego about it, and just being able to change as it comes, because every business that does not goes under. You've seen that happen with retail stores, even Toys R Us. It's unbelievable what happened to them because they didn't evolve. They could have had a huge presence online. They could have been the biggest toy seller on the planet, but they didn't. Because of that, they relied on their retail stores, and no one came into their stores, so they closed up. So next up is information. Lack of information. So even if you're a small business and you're starting online, or anywhere for that matter, if you don't have enough information about what you're selling, who's buying it, where are they buying it, and everything in between, the data and statistics and all of that information, all of that stuff is extremely important, especially today. Because if you don't have the right information, you can't make the right decisions, and you can't expand a business if you don't understand the customer and how they're buying a product from you, where they're buying it from, when are they buying it. All of that stuff is ultra important. So if you don't have enough of that information, you need to start diving into and finding out. This kind of goes back to the original thing I talked about, where you have to have a little bit of research. You need to look a little bit into it. What you're going to be selling, when are you going to sell it, how are you going to sell it, everything that you need to know to make truly informed decisions. That's something you need to make sure you have. So number 2 is you definitely want to have the right information, and you want to have enough of it about every aspect of your customer and your business. So number 1, this is one that is a ongoing learning process, especially for me. I will tell you that. You want to make sure that you're managing your business the right way. And what I mean by that, and I know this sounds kind of vague, is that you want to make sure, if you're not good at management, meaning everything from sales, money coming in, money going out, payroll, knowing who's here, who's there, you're going to be multitasking. Trust me, it's going to happen. But if you can't manage everything in a successful manner, if you can't manage it in a responsible way, if you can't manage it in a way that's profitable, your business is going to fail. It's going to go under. So it's a super simple concept, but excuse me. What's most important is that it's not only a simple concept, but implementing it is the most difficult part. But having the ability to manage everything that comes in and goes out, you don't necessarily have to look over everyone's shoulders. That's what I'm talking about. You don't have to micromanage, but it's just that if you're not overseeing your day-to-day business and you're not seeing it going in the direction that you wanted it to be in, then your business will not be around very long. So management and management skills are something that are super important. And if you're not good at it when you first started up front, that's perfectly fine. Don't expect yourself to be. Like I just told you, I've been doing this for 11 years and I'm still learning. This is not something that, even though I've been doing it for quite some time, I still have quite a lot to learn. I'll be the first person to tell you that. So with all of those being said, you want to make sure that you keep an eye on them. If you're not good at something, that's fine. Find someone else who is. If you are great at certain skills, make sure you try to better them, try to perfect them, continually becoming better and better at them, because those are the things that are going to ensure your success as a business owner, especially when you're just starting out. So if you have any questions about those, I hope that they actually give you kind of a framework to understand why businesses do fail and why they can actually be saved or they can actually grow. Let me know down below if you've got any comments, and I'll definitely get back to you as soon as possible. And I'll see you guys on the next video.